branding yourself and how we do that. If you look at these advertising icons, you have some feeling about them, you have some memory of them maybe. They bring to mind certain characteristics and aspects that make them who they are. You're the same way. When you create your LinkedIn site, when you create a resume, when you go out for a job interview, you're selling your brand. You want people to look at you, look at your accomplishments, and feel something. So you're marketing yourself. That's what the job hunt is really all about. So you have to think about what is your brand and how do you communicate that. So know yourself. That's why we've been doing these pedal exercises, and I'm sure you're probably tired of them and the self-reflection, but it's so important to know and have in your mind a clear idea of who you are and what you're interested in and what evidence you have to back those things up. Do your research of the organization. And so even for your mock interview, taking the time to research that organization, understanding the mission, understanding the structure of the organization so that you can ask intelligent questions. Who do you know? Make a list. Who do you know? Who do you know that knows people? And don't be afraid to call them and say, hey, I'm looking for a job. I'm interested in a career change. What do you know or who do you know? Prepare for the commonly asked interview questions, and I think if you can answer those questions that that we looked at a few minutes ago in the previous slides, I think you're well on your way to being able to answer any interview question. And you want to have a customized resume and cover letter. So when you look at resumes, I put a PDF out there that gives some really good samples of resumes. But reverse chronological is the most recent items first. This is the most common type of resume. Or a functional one, using headings to highlight skills and abilities. So if you are a good presenter, then on the resume you would put presentation skills and then list everything that supports the positive presentation skills that you have. Most people use a reverse chronological where you have the most recent accomplishments listed first. I know the Parachute book, as you read it, will say resumes are a bad thing, but then they come back around and say, well, actually, you still need them. That is true. More and more people are going to LinkedIn, more electronic versions of this type of thing. But I do believe you need to have a good resume. You need to have one on hand that you can send to someone very quickly that gives them a snapshot of who you are. So the book may kind of go back and forth on that, but in the end, I think having a solid resume is going to serve you well. So in the resume, you need to have contact information, obviously, at the very top. Education and training, that's typically in reverse chronological order. So most recent, first. Your job-related experience, any activities, and any volunteer experience. Be careful. What you put may cause bias. If you are heavily involved in religious organizations, and that's, I did a lot of that in the beginning of my career and did a lot with my church, and I wanted that highlighted. And so I would put it under professional service. And to try to minimize any bias or anything someone may have towards that religion or that particular organization, how you label it matters. And so if it's professional service, if it is as opposed to volunteer work, that may indicate more of a personal interest and it may create, some bias. So you just have to be kind of careful of that and really look at how you label things and how you present them on the resume. Use your words wisely. Page 228 of the PDF I think I posted has some action words to use. So, and the one piece of advice I would give also is make sure your words reflect the language that's in the job description as often as you can. If there's facilitate, if there's present, if there's create, design, lead, use those words in your resume because oftentimes resumes are being scanned and they're looking for keywords that match the job description. So as often as you can, reflect the job description in your resume. For your cover letter, page 232 of the PDF has some great examples, but you want to identify an interest in the position, specifically cite the position and the organization. Do not just say, I'm interested in a position with your organization. No. You need to say something to the effect of, I am contacting you because I'm very interested in the position of training manager with University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences. Be specific. If you're not, it looks generic, like you sent it to everybody. So be specific in your opening paragraph, the job you're applying for, and the organization at which you're applying. Paragraph 2, briefly highlight experience that relates to the position. I'm qualified for this position because, and then describe your qualifications. And then paragraph 3, ask for a meeting. I welcome the opportunity to interview with you. Please contact me to set up a time. Be confident. Go into it assuming you're going to get an interview and ask for that interview. Okay, answering questions. Be sure that you are prepared for commonly asked interview questions, and be sure to tell a good story. You want it to be consistent, relevant, and detailed. You will be answering behavioral interview questions, and so you have to be able to tell a good story related to that question.